It's 2 a.m. The house is completely silent. You wake up in the dark, your legs cramped, trapped under a familiar, comforting weight. You look down, and there it is. Your golden retriever circles your mattress, their golden fur glowing in the moonlight. With a heavy, contented sigh, they collapse against your legs, turning their back to you, leaning their entire body weight onto your shins, and taking up exactly 80% of the space. Most people dismiss this behavior as a simple quirk. We assume they just want our body heat, or that they lack spatial awareness. We think it's just a dog being a dog, looking for a soft place to land. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. What your golden retriever is doing right now, that specific, heavy, dead weight lean against your body in the middle of the night, is one of the most complex expressions of interspecies psychology on the planet. And most owners have no idea. Let's start with the warmth and comfort theory, because it sounds reasonable. Dogs run slightly hotter than humans, but they still seek out warmth. It makes logical sense that your golden retriever is just using you as a giant, breathing space heater. Here's the problem with that logic. Your home is full of optimal resting places. If it were purely about temperature or physical comfort, your dog could sleep near the radiator. They could curl up on the expensive orthopedic dog bed you bought them, which perfectly supports their joints. They could sleep on a plush living room rug. But they don't. They choose the end of your bed. And they don't just sleep near you. They actively press their spine, their hips, or their paws directly against your skin, often leaning their full weight into you until you literally have to brace yourself. So why do they keep choosing you? Why do they choose a sleeping surface that moves, shifts, and occasionally kicks them in the night? The answer isn't physical. It's emotional. That heavy lean is a profound statement of psychological vulnerability. To understand the lean, we have to look at how dogs bond. In 2005, researchers at Evolutionary University in Hungary, home to the world-renowned Family Dog Project, conducted a landmark study adapting the human strange situation test for dogs. This test was originally designed to measure the attachment style between human infants and their mothers. The researchers wanted to see if dogs interact with their owners the same way toddlers interact with their parents. And what they found was extraordinary. The study revealed that dogs exhibit what psychologists call the secure base effect. Just like a human toddler, your dog uses you as a psychological anchor. When exposed to a novel or slightly stressful environment, an overwhelming 61% of the dogs studied showed immediate distress when their owner left the room. But the moment the owner returned, the dogs didn't just calm down. They actively sought physical contact, often leaning their bodies against the owner's legs to regulate their own nervous systems. When your golden retriever presses their back against you in the dark, they're performing the single most fundamental behavior in attachment psychology. By turning their back to you, exposing their most vulnerable flank, they are demonstrating total physical trust. They're not being stubborn or space-hogging. They're telling you you're their ultimate source of safety in a chaotic world. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because this isn't just psychology, it's chemistry. In 2015, a groundbreaking study published in the journal Science by Dr. Takefumi Kikusui and his team at Asahi University in Japan completely changed how we view the human-dog bond. They were measuring a neurochemical called oxytocin. You probably know oxytocin as the love hormone. It's the same chemical that floods a mother's brain when she nurses her newborn, facilitating an unbreakable emotional bond. Dr. Kikusui's team discovered that when dogs and their humans share affiliated behaviors, like prolonged eye contact and sustained physical touch, such as that heavy, trusting lean, it triggers a massive, positive feedback loop. In the study, after interacting with their owners, The dogs experienced a staggering 130% increase in their oxytocin levels. And the owners? Their oxytocin spiked by 300%. This is an interspecies positive feedback loop. When your golden retriever leans against you, the physical pressure stimulates receptors in their skin that send a signal directly to their hypothalamus, releasing a wave of oxytocin. This chemical suppresses the stress hormone cortisol, physically lowering their heart rate and deepening their breathing. And the most fascinating part, hand-raised wolves do not do this. Even wolves raised from birth by humans do not experience this oxytocin loop. Domestic cats rarely show it to this degree. This co-evolved specifically between dogs and humans over thousands of years. Now, think about what happens over 6 to 8 hours of that deep sleep lean. They are practically marinating their brains, and yours, in the chemical of love and safety. When did this behavior start? The answer is basically from the beginning of our shared history. Take your mind back more than 15,000 years. Pre-agriculture, pre-written language. When early humans and the ancestors of modern dogs were both trying to survive the harsh realities of the Ice Age. During the domestication process, humans didn't just select the wolves that were the best hunters. We selected the ones that were the most tolerant of our presence. We selected for sociability. Today, geneticists from institutions like the University of Oxford have mapped the canine genome and found something incredible. Domestic dogs carry unique genetic insertions in chromosome 6, specifically around the genes GTF2I and GDF2IRD1, which are directly associated with hypersociability. In humans, variations in these same genes cause Williams-Beuren syndrome, a condition characterized by exceptionally trusting, outgoing, and friendly behavior. We literally bred the desire for physical closeness into their DNA, and we know they weren't just kept outside as alarms. Archaeological findings, like the 14,200-year-old Bonnober Castle dog burial in Germany, show a puppy buried alongside 2 humans, with evidence that the humans cared for the dog through weeks of severe illness before it died. These weren't just working animals. They were family. So, when they press their weight against your legs, your golden retriever isn't doing something unusual. They're doing something that's been selected for across 15 millennia. Now, I want to tell you about a study that nobody talks about because the finding seems impossible at first. For years, sleep specialists have told us to kick our pets out of the bedroom. And looking purely at the mechanical data, you can see why. A 2017 study from the Mayo Clinic tracked the sleep of dogs and their owners using actigraphy, devices that measure movement. The data showed what you already know. Dogs are restless. They twitch, they dream, they kick, and they shift their body weight. The study found that having a dog in the bed objectively decreased the human sleep efficiency to around 81%. They were being physically disturbed. And yet, despite the objective data showing disrupted movement, almost every single participant reported feeling better rested, and more than 41% explicitly stated that the dog's physical presence helped them sleep. How is that possible? Because psychological safety trumps physical comfort. Our brains evolved to sleep in groups for protection. Having a heavy, warm, breathing predator physically leaning against you signals to your brain's amygdala that you're guarded. The physical pressure of the dog acts like a weighted blanket, grounding your nervous system. Maybe your golden retriever isn't ruining your sleep. Maybe they're restoring something more ancient than a perfectly undisturbed night. The feeling of absolute, primitive safety. And this is where it gets deep. In recent years, researchers at Linköping University in Sweden have been studying the biological synchronization between humans and dogs. We knew that dogs could read our emotions, but this new research looked at long-term stress markers like cortisol levels and heart rate variability, or HRV. They wanted to see what happens to a dog's internal rhythm when they live in close proximity to a human. The findings, published in late 2023 and 2024, revealed that dogs and their owners showed remarkably correlated biological patterns. Over time, a dog's stress levels and nervous system fluctuations begin to perfectly mirror their owners. Their nervous systems were literally in sync. But here's the crucial detail. When they tested this with dogs and strangers, or unfamiliar human pairs, there was zero synchronization. None. This only happens within bonded pairs. When your golden retriever climbs onto the bed, turns their back, and leans their weight against your legs, their heartbeat and breathing are engaging in a biological dance with your own. Sleeping beside your golden retriever isn't just a psychological comfort. It's a neurological event. There's one last thing I need to tell you, and it might be the most important part of this video. If your golden retriever has been doing this heavy lean, pressing against you every night or leaning against you on the couch for months or years, and one day they suddenly stop, don't brush it off. Dogs are creatures of habit. When a deeply established behavior disappears overnight, there's always a reason. Sometimes it's environmental. A new pet in the house, a change in your work schedule, or a new person in the bed can disrupt their feeling of security. But more often, a sudden withdrawal of physical contact is the very first sign of physical pain. Long before you see them limping or showing stiffness, a dog with early-stage osteoarthritis will stop leaning against you because the pressure hurts their joints. In older dogs, it can also be a sign of cognitive decline. Statistics show that nearly 35% of dogs over the age of 8 and a massive 68% over the age of 15 suffer from canine cognitive dysfunction, doggy dementia. Losing their spatial awareness or forgetting their comforting routines is a major red flag. Your dog doesn't have language. Behavior is the only way they can tell you something is wrong. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m. with exactly 6 inches of mattress to yourself and 80 pounds of golden fur pressed heavily against your legs, take a deep breath and remember what's actually happening. You aren't just a warm spot. You are the culmination of 15,000 years of evolution. You are the center of a neurochemical loop that no other species on Earth shares with us. You are the anchor in an attachment system built to mirror the profound bond between parent and child. All of it is pointed at one beautiful, undeniable thing. Sleeping beside you is the safest place in their world. And honestly, considering the drop in your own cortisol and the spike in your oxytocin, the science suggests it might be doing exactly the same thing for you too. If this changed how you see your golden retriever, subscribe to Paws Psyche right now and drop a comment below. I want to know, where does your dog sleep tonight? Do they do the deadweight lean? And if you want to understand why your golden retriever suddenly stares at you from across the room without blinking, that's the next video on your screen right now. And trust me, the science behind that is even stranger than you'd expect. See you there.